Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, and my name is Caesaboo. Can you believe it? This is my 5th year vlogging about TekkoCon. It's hard to believe that I've been sharing my time at the con for 5 years now, and that I've been vlogging about Tekko since before I even moved to Pennsylvania. And I have to say, it's been cool getting to watch the con grow throughout the years. If you all are new to my channel, welcome aboard, and thank you so much for clicking on the video. In today's video, I'm going to take you on a walkthrough of the vendors, cosplays, and of course my overall experience as an attendee. I also want this video to be a guide for anyone thinking about coming to TekkoCon and how you can prepare for the con. So be sure to grab your ribbons and let's get started with the video. Before we begin, this video is sponsored by no one, so if you would like to support me, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more content. This year at TekkoCon, I accomplished something big. I spent my very first full weekend at the con, of course excluding Thursday, preview night. With 3 days instead of my usual 2, I still had one goal in mind, and that was to hit up as many vendors as I possibly could without breaking the bank too bad. And I assume for those that know me and watch my other travel videos that, spoiler alert, it was mission failed on leaving with a wallet still full of cash. So let's talk about Tekko as an experience. How was it? We arrived at the con in the middle of the afternoon on Friday to grab our badges. And by the way, I highly recommend getting your tickets on any other day than Saturday. It takes little to no time and you don't have to wait in a long line like you would on Saturday morning. Everything was pretty chill. I noticed right away that the vendor hall was way darker than usual, and I bet that you can tell by the footage that it was kind of hard to try and not get a blurry shot sometimes. But also, with the average attendee, like the ones that aren't YouTubers trying to vlog their every move like me, it was hard to see what I was trying to buy because of how dark it was. I do have to say though, the darkness did help with keeping it cool, and having the building cool with a bunch of people was definitely a plus. We had 2 hours to check out a few vendors and I was already spotting Pokemon cards to buy, because of course, you know, we're a Pokemon card channel. We only had a couple of hours because when we purchased our tickets, TekkoCon was doing a deal on all-you-could-eat seats at the Pirates and White Sox baseball game. I'd never really been to a Major League Baseball game, so when I went, and I gotta say, the Pirates may have lost and, well, we may have seen some airplanes carrying flags telling them to toss their coach or player, but man, they do make a mean ween.
Bet they won't have. Wow, they have it! Lizzie!
So, as a part of Tekko's thing that they have going on, you can actually be put in the all-you-can-eat seats at the Pirates game. So, we're going tonight, which is the first time I've been to a con in a very long time on a Friday, but we're gonna eat unlimited wings, popcorn. I'm gonna try the crab fries. This will be my first Pirates game, so tomorrow is our first really big full day at Tekko. And then of course we're going Sunday too for the flea market. So, enjoy the rest of the video. So if you all follow me on Instagram, you've if you don't, please do, then you know that I cosplayed as a character I've always wanted to do, Penny. Before they could sell out on the Pokemon Center, I was actually able to buy Penny's Eevee backpack. Here are a few shots from my photo shoot as Penny. After the shoot, I was ready to tackle a more packed and fully energetic Saturday TekkoCon. For those of you that don't know, Tekko's busiest day is usually always Saturday. So once again, grab your badge or you're going to be waiting a little bit in a line. I highly recommend it. So much so that I had to say it twice. So before I move into my thoughts on the vendors, I do want to say that if you are expecting me to talk about the panels, I actually usually don't attend them. But if you want to share your experience or have some recommendations for next year, by all means, please share away in the comments. So, the vendors, where do I begin? From Artist Alley Pokemon keychains to cards to plushies, the vendor hall kept me busy and had my attention for hours. Take a look at some of the vendors I saw. So, some of my favorite vendors that I got to check out was checking out all the food items from Many More Asian Market. I got to try Dodongo for the first time, which was really cool. It was a lot more sweet and gooier than I imagined, but really got me excited to try the real thing in Japan. Oh man, though, they didn't have my Hokkaido sweet roll cake that I usually eat. And I just remember it was so soft and it's like a milk cake and it's so good. And I usually get it every year, but they just didn't have it this year. So I was a little bummed, but I did get to try new things. I also tried this little peach flavored ice cream that looked like a peach. And it was so good that I had like 2 in one day, and everyone else was walking around with them too. They had like giant versions and smaller versions. They were really good. But if you are ever going to Tekko, make sure you check them out because they've got plenty of food for you to try. There were also plenty of cards and plushies and figures to buy too. So once again, here's more a look at the vendors just while I'm talking as well. Now, I will say that when you look on the website, you see that there's like 175 slots, but some vendors take up more than one spot. Like one was, I think, was as big as like 4 different spots. So I think I want to say that there were at least 130 vendors there. Now, I don't know if I've said this or not in my video. Sorry if I'm being a little bit redundant, but I do want to say that my only complaint, and someone did talk about this too in their review for Tekko, I wish that there was a more like split off area from the artist alley from the vendors just so that you can tell which was which. And then I also noticed that the voice actors got a really big area this time for their lines, and I'm not sure if there needed to be that much space for their lines because usually they were nice and flowing and easy, but it also just depended on how busy Saturday was, and I can tell you I was moving around so much Saturday that I actually didn't get the chance to visit any of the voice actors this year, but man, I really hope that I do get to catch them next year, because I remember last year I got to meet Dimitri from Fire Emblem 3 Houses, his voice actor, and man, that was an amazing experience. But overall, I did enjoy the main hall expo vending area. It was great. Final thoughts. Once again, my biggest complaint was that it was dark in there, not really from a recording point of view, but from just eyes as well. And everyone has different things going on with their eyes. Some see different colors, some it's darker, some are visually impaired. So I wish there was a way to get a little bit of light in there, whether it's natural or artificial, but that's my biggest complaint. So let's go ahead and talk about the game room. The game room had a lot going on too. I didn't play as much this year because my favorite machine wasn't there. I know a lot of my favorite stuff just not there this year, and I was actually pretty sad about it. It's Final Fantasy Theatrum. Now, to be fair, I'm probably the only one that thinks about it, and a little bit of advice, by the way, if you're going to play games in that area, which, by the way, I played a few games, and it was really fun, but make sure that you are prepared to wait in line and prepared to wait for others to finish their turn, especially for Taiko Drum. That game always has the longest line. The lines are usually a little bit long, especially because you're waiting for others to finish through their songs. So if you're doing that, please make sure that you are aware of others around you and don't take too long on the machines. Be respectful. But in the gaming hall, this is where you're also going to find cards and games too. And I'll be honest, I didn't go as hard as I usually do. Maybe next year though, regardless though, it was just still fun to just browse around. Keep an eye out though for a short, because I did collab with one of the guests there. We did a pack battle in the gaming hall and it's really cool and I can't wait to show off the short. And that short should be up soon. But they also had a VR area and they were doing tournaments and other cool games on the side. Like they had like a Pokemon activity, badge quest going on. They had a mini or little game that I saw in the corner that was adorable. I didn't get the chance to play that, but when I walked in, I saw Street Fighter going on. So they had a bunch of tournaments going on. So for everybody, and of course, you know, Smash too. So if you're a gamer, definitely check out Tekko's Gaming Hall. So after a long Saturday, I did actually do my Pokemon photo shoot for the first time. If you all want to see those pictures, hunt them down on Unofficial Tekko page on Facebook. Shout out to them. I had a great time and I got to meet so many people, and thank you so much to the organizer that did that. It was a really well organized photo shoot. I also got to meet someone that kind of looked like me, kind of looked like Penny. I think her name was Cassiopeia, you know, since I'm Penny. I also got a ton of Evolution ribbons, and I'll show that off at the end of the video. And of course, we had a little bit of karaoke going on at the end of the night. Oh, and by the way, you probably are not watching this. I was rooting for you, Man or Muppet. But it's time for my last day at Tekko. Let's talk about Sunday. Sunday's flea market was basically the final boss for my wallet. That's pretty much what did it. I didn't actually spend as much money as my fiance did because he was looking for games, but he was able to find quite a bit. If you watched last year's video, you'll know that I complained about the lack of room during the Sunday flea market. We were all basically shoulder to shoulder in the entire experience, and it was hard to browse and look for things that year. Well, this year they moved it to the downstairs area where I believe you register, and it's the same area as registration and the ribbon game, and we had a lot more room and it was much better. It was still a little hard to browse just because of how popular the flea market is, but man, it was good. Props to the staff for listening and trying to make that a better experience for everyone. But overall, we got a few deals and enjoyed ourselves with the flea market, and we spent the last couple of hours in the vendor hall, and thus the con was over. So, what did we get? Well, let's cut back to my place and see. All right, and we are back from TekkoCon 2025, and I gotta say this year I was highly impressed. Now, I did something a little bit unusual for me, and I actually went out and was given ribbons, so I'm gonna show you all which ones I got. So for being Penny, we were doing a Pokemon photo shoot, which is actually the first photo shoot that I have ever attended, and it was actually so much fun. There just wasn't enough time for how many ideas and stuff that we were putting together for shots, but it was fantastic. So I actually got a ribbon for every single evolution, so this is why it kind of looks crazy. And then towards the end we met the parrot rescue, which was really cool. And I believe they watched my video last year, so thank you for checking out the video. You guys are awesome. I love what you do. And then we went to karaoke, which I heard that is a very popular panel. And then last but not least, there was a woman that rushed by really quickly, and she said, "Hi, welcome to Tekko, and thank you for being here." And then I realized, not until she walked away, she had a very cute Hatsune Miku fit, by the way. I met the TekkoCon ShowCon founder. So yes, she was actually one of the original founders. So if she's ever watching this, thank you for everything that you do. TekkoCon is amazing, and I had a wonderful time. Now, of course, like every video, let's go ahead and I'll show you everything that I got this year. So from Gary Draws, there is their information. This was actually one of the last things that I bought. I bought these really cute keychains, and it's Dragonite, Dragonair, and Dratini, which is really cute. And by the way, I love when art is done with Dragonite doing the little male thing from the first movie. I think that that is so adorable. I cannot wait to show this off on my backpack. And then my fiance absolutely loves Metagross. He wasn't going to get it, and I was like, you know what? No, we're getting it. Metagross, Beldum, and then Matang. I think that's the middle form. I usually have a hard time with middle forms, but I think that these keychains are so cute, and they're a very good idea. Go follow him over on Instagram. Amazing work. Oh, and by the way, for the parrots, it is Heart and Soul Parrots, and there is their information as well. I love to shout out people that do work like that because animals are awesome. Sometimes they're better than people, and why not help out someone that helps out animals? While I was doing shopping at the vending hall, I ran into the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo. That is an amazing team that puts on an amazing convention every year at the Monroeville Convention Center, and it is all about gaming. So please, if you all are in the area, please come to this show. It is fantastic for gamers. They work so hard to put this all together, and I believe it is 3 days this year, October 3rd through the 5th. So please check out their information. They are amazing, and I cannot wait to go there in October and buy some games. I do a video on them almost every year that I've been to, so please check out that video and please support them because, once again, they are awesome. So there was another vendor that was selling Madoka Magica and a lot of Magical Girl stuff, but they also had Full Metal Alchemist. The vendor kept saying that, and I had to pick this up because 03 is actually my favorite anime, and I prefer that over Brotherhood. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but I am glued to it. I'm not going to open this because I want to preserve it, and it looks like that the plastic is in pretty good shape. It has never been opened, and I just want to preserve this as much as possible. But it has interviews in it, artwork from the original movie, and I thought this was really cool. If that's something that you all didn't know about me, I do love Full Metal Alchemist, and it is my favorite anime of all time. Speaking of Full Metal Alchemist, Daniel and Mary from Art Tunes. I promised that I would shout you all out. They are new to Tekko, and they have some amazing stuff. They had an amazing collection full of cells and prints. I actually picked up an advertisement for Full Metal Alchemist when it first premiered on Cartoon Network, which was really cool. My fiance also picked up a patch for Ghost in the Shell, and then I think we had one more thing that was wrapped in this. Oh, yes, Silent Hill, which is really, really cool. I remember watching the movie quite a bit ago, and it's actually set up like a newspaper, too, to look like, oh, you know, they're missing. Hey, like, go and look for them. It's one of the coolest advertisements for a movie that I think I've ever seen. I'm trying to be very, very careful with this because I potentially want to get this framed, but this is fantastic. I've also got another paper over here that shows their schedule and more contact information about them. Please support them. They are amazing. They have a wonderful, wonderful collection, and they are super nice people. They'll help you with anything, and it's always nice to see fresh faces at Tekko. At the flea market, I was actually able to pick up another Secret Lair Hatsune Miku box. I still have my one from last year. I have not opened it yet. I need to do a video on that, so stay tuned. And last but not least, I am a Pokemon channel, as you all know. My proudest pickup, hold on, Penny Backpack. Yes, and by the way, I did cosplay as Penny. I hope that you all enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun cosplaying as her. Here's my latest plushie, Phil Sophocles. If you all know me, I have a shiny Hydrapple named Phil, and she is wonderful. Here is Phil in real life as a plushie. The neck moves and bends. It is so cool. It is probably going to be one of my favorite plushies in my collection. Honestly, I wish I knew someone that dyed plushies because I would actually make her shiny and it would actually be like the real Phil, which is really cool. So yeah, probably my best pickup from the whole convention. I do not regret the money that I spent on her. She is amazing. People kept complimenting her, and if you noticed her, by the way, thank you so much for noticing her. She was riding along in our backpack the entire con, and it was a great experience. And last but not least, from Universal Hobby Exchange, there is their information. We picked up some cards because we are a card channel. We picked up some of the Japanese Southern Islands set that we're missing. So here are some of these. We have that Raticate was one. And then we have Ivysaur. I just realized I actually picked that one up in English. We have Jigglypuff. We have Butterfree. And we have another Raticate in Japanese. So I don't think I realized that I picked up two Raticates, but oh well, we still got some extras that we needed. So, oh, and of course Charmander on the end. So now all I need is Charmeleon. And that is going to be all for TekkoCon 2025. I had such an amazing time, and I hope that you all kind of listened to everything that I said about the con too. Once again, summarizing, I think that the flea market was very well done this year. I'm so glad that everybody was listened to. The team did a fabulous job on making sure that the flea market went smoothly. It was one of my favorite parts. I really enjoyed that it felt like that we had more space in the vendor hall. Once again, my only complaint was that it felt like it was a little too dark in places. I'm glad that it was dark in the arcade, but I heard a lot of people saying that it was hard to see in the vendor hall, me included. I have obviously glasses, so I have an eyesight problem, so it was also a little bit hard for me to record and also kind of see what was going on, so maybe a little bit of lighting would have helped, but that's just a small complaint. Overall, everything was wonderful. I had a wonderful time, and I hope that you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to like, subscribe, and I seriously want to thank you all again for checking out the video. Until then, peace out. Bye.